volleyball competition.
I do.
Please be seated and state your name for the court. Spell your last name.
Cam Gentry, Gentry.
What is your occupation?
I work at Oregon Valley Medical Center.
What else do you do?
Well, I've been a member of the National Burn Association.
And what do you do there?
I'm a member of the research ethics and also the outreach committees.
Is there anything else you've been involved in?
Well, I've been the director of the trauma center.
How long have you been director at the trauma center?
About 7 years.
And what do you do as director?
I do regular patient care, and I'm also a virtual consultant, where I mainly concentrate on the healing process of chronic, non-healing wounds and hypertrophic scarring.
What is a virtual consultant?
A virtual consultant is pretty much just somebody who provides information online to the public.
And what kind of education have you had?
Well, I received my bachelor's from Boston College and my medical degree from the University of Colorado.
Are you published?
Yes, I've published 34 articles all around wound repair, burn treatment, and scar prevention.
Your Honor, we ask the court to recognize Dr. Gentry as an expert in burns and their causes and treatments.
Objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Court will recognize Dr. Gentry as an expert.
Are you being paid for your testimony?
Yes,
Does the fact that you're being paid by the plaintiff affect your testimony in any way?
not at all.
How did you prepare for this case?
I reviewed any relevant material.
Dr. Gentry, how did you originally become involved in this case?
Well, I was on duty at the trauma center when Miss Kavanaugh was brought in.
What did you notice when Ms. Kavanaugh was brought in?
Well, she was sedated, but still in obvious discomfort.
And what did you do next?
I then began my examination.
What did your examination reveal?
Miss Kavanaugh had severe burns all throughout her body.
What are the kinds of burns?
There's first, second, and third degree.
Your Honor, may I push this?
Please.
I am distributing a copy of Exhibit 3, the illustration of burn damage to the dermis layers. Do you recognize this?
Yes,
What is it?
this is a chart showing the 3 different types of burns. There's first, second, and third degree.
And does this chart accurately reflect the different types of burns?
Yes,
Your Honor, we ask that Exhibit 3 be admitted into evidence. Its authenticity has been stipulated.
Objection?
No, Your Honor.
It's deemed admitted.
What is a first-degree burn?
a first degree burn is minor damage to the top skin layers. It usually results in redness and some minor pain.
And a second-degree burn?
Second degree burn is more severe. Usually burns through about half the skin layers. More severe pain is experienced as well as blistering, and this is also where nerve damage begins.
And then what about a third-degree burn?
Well, a third degree burn is just when all the skin has been burned away, and along with that skin, the nerves were burned away along with it, and this is usually why they can be painless.
Which type of burn is most severe?
Well, all of them are bad, but third degree is the worst.
Why is third-degree the worst?
It causes the most damage to the skin.
What factors determine how serious a burn can be?
There's 4 different factors. Whether the heat source is wet or dry, how hot the heat source is, how long the heat source is applied to the affected area, and how thick the skin of the affected area is.
Did you have any idea what caused Ms. Kavanaugh's burns?
Yes, it's obvious to me it was a scalding of an extremely hot liquid.
And what is the danger of hot coffee when it touches the skin?
Well, if it's anything above 156 degrees, it can cause burns instantly.
Your Honor, which one is? And you show me copies of Exhibit 4, the chart of hot liquids. Dr. Gentry, do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is this?
This is a chart showing the third degree burns and how long it takes for each one to occur.
And is this accurate?
Yes.
Your Honor, we ask that Exhibit 4 be admitted into evidence. Its authenticity has been stipulated.
Objection?
Yes, Your Honor. Under Rule 801, this exhibit is hearsay because it is being used for the truth of the matter asserted, and it is an out-of-court statement.
Your Honor, this is an expert witness, and she has reviewed all relevant materials.
I agree with something that this witness relied on. She may rely on hearsay within her expertise or be admitted.
According to the chart, what happens at 160 degrees?
An instant third degree burn.
How do you treat burns caused by extremely hot liquids?
I soak the patient in cool water.
Is that what you did in this case?
Yes.
Why?
To relieve Miss Kavanaugh's pain.
And was that the only treatment?
No. I then begin the debridement process.
Objection, Your Honor. Under Rule 403, this is unfairly prejudicial because the third-degree burns are not in dispute, and so this is just merely playing to the emotional appeal of the jury.
You want to address that?
Yes. We are just showing that there was a resulting harm of the temperature of their coffee. What is debriding?
Debriding is where you cut away the dead and blistered skin, and the process is finished up by covering the area with sterile dressing.
Why the sterile dressing?
Because there's usually so much exposed flesh, it has to be covered up with sterile dressing to prevent infection.
And was there any other treatment?
Yes, Miss Kavanaugh had to undergo multiple skin transplant surgeries, which required healthy tissue to be collected from a donor site, which in Miss Kavanaugh's case was her left thigh.
How do you feel a donor site?
It just takes time, and all the while the patient has to be monitored and also experiences extreme pain. It can take up to 14 days.
So then, about how long was Miss Kavanaugh hospitalized?
About 9 days.
And what is the permanent damage she will have to live with?
Contracture scarring on her right hand.
What are contracture scars?
Contracture scars are when the muscle and tendon beneath the skin contract, and this is formed when the elastic tissue is burned away and non-elastic tissue replaces it.
Your Honor, my approach witness. I'm distributing copies of Exhibit 1, the photos of Lee's contracture scars. Dr. Gentry, do you recognize this?
Yes.
Is this an accurate copy of the photo of Ms. Kavanaugh's contracture scars?
Yes.
Your Honor, we ask that Exhibit 1 be admitted into evidence. Its authenticity has been stipulated.
Objection.
Yes, Your Honor. Under Rule 403, this is unfairly prejudicial because it is not clear when these pictures were taken, and so the jury does not know whether this was prior or post-surgery, and it is not a clear representation of Ms. Kavanaugh's injuries.
Your Honor, may I be heard?
Please.
The expert witness treated Ms. Kavanaugh so she would know what the burns looked like, and she was there, so.
Maybe you could then have her, the expert, lay an additional foundation for this exhibit before you offer interaction.
Is this what Ms. Kavanaugh's burns looked like when you treated her?
Yes, it is.
And is that what the contracture scars look like?
Yes.
Your Honor, we ask that Exhibit 1 be admitted into evidence.
I agree.
Can you please discuss the bottom part of this picture and how it relates to this case?
Yes, the bottom portion shows Lee's right hand and the contracture scarring that she suffered. If you can see, extending from her thumb into her inner wrist and all the way up her forefinger is where the contracture scarring took place.
And what are the effects of contracture scars?
Permanent loss of mobility.
Since it was the same coffee that spilled on Lee, why were there different degrees of burns?
Because Miss Kavanaugh's thigh and abdomen were covered with clothing, the coffee had time to cool down before it reached her skin, whereas her hand, she was holding the cup right there and it spilled.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Again, my name is Mrs. Doctor, you did not observe the accident, correct?
No, I wasn't in the car.
Are you aware that ice was applied to the injury at the scene,
Yes, I believe I heard that.
and that this application likely made the injuries worse?
Yes, it could have made them worse, but ice doesn't cause third-degree burns.
Is it possible to precisely estimate the amount of damage that was due to the coffee versus the ice application?
No.
And in your statement, there's no mention of Ms. Kavanaugh having any previous medical conditions, correct?
Could you repeat the question, please?
In your statement, there's no mention of Ms. Kavanaugh having any previous medical conditions?
Relating to cup of joe?
Yes, or in general.
No.
And so there's no way to know whether she had any medical conditions that could have made these injuries worse.
No, not that I know of.
Now moving on to coffee. In order for it to be brewed, it must be above 140 degrees.
I don't
Objection, Your
know.
Honor. Lack of personal knowledge.
You can be heard if you'd like to be.
As an expert witness, Dr. Gentry would be expected to review the exhibits in the case, and therefore she would have knowledge of Mr. Rutledge's statement, which talks about this specific picture.
Your Honor, may I be heard?
Okay.
Under Rule 3, it says that witnesses are bound by their statements, and nowhere in her statement does she talk about this. And she said that she reviewed relevant affidavits, so she may not have even reviewed this.
You've opened the door as to temperatures by introducing the sheet and asking questions, so she's permitted to testify to what her knowledge is if she knows. I'll have her to answer the question.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes.
In order to be brewed, coffee must be 140 degrees or above.
I don't know. I'm I'm not an expert in the coffee service.
Assuming that coffee is brewed at this temperature of 140 degrees, would that provide burn risk to the customer?
It could if used in an unsafe manner.
And have you reviewed the exhibits related to this case?
Some of them.
Did you see the one of the coffee cup, which read contents may be hot?
Yes, I believe so.
And you noticed the warning on that cup?
No, I didn't.
Are you sure if the plaintiff also did or didn't notice this warning?
I don't know if she did it. A warning was on there, I missed it. I think Lee could too.
You were also unsure if the plaintiff added cream and sugar to the coffee cup while in the car?
No, I wasn't there.
If she had removed the lid to this cup, would that have contributed to the severity of her injuries?
It could have had she removed the lid.
Now, moving on to your personal expertise. You make at least $250,000 per year in your job as an expert witness.
Yes, that's true.
And even if your in-court testimony today was only 10 minutes, you could still receive your daily minimum of $2,500.
Yes, that's true.
Now, from your examination of the facts of this case, do you have any opinion on if the plaintiff's negligence played a role in her injuries?
I don't believe she has any responsibility in this. I think that none of this was Ms. Kavanaugh's fault.
Do you feel you have the knowledge to make that declaration?
I feel like Ms. Kavanaugh was burned severely, and no coffee should be that hot to cause these burns.
Even though you were not in the car?
No, I was not in the car.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. Dr. Gentry, how would you classify a cup of Joe's coffee according to Ms. Kavanaugh's burns?
This coffee had to be extremely hot and extremely dangerous.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I ask you a problem?
You can ask.
Did you measure the temperature of the coffee yourself?
No, I did not.
Thank you. No further questions.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Gentry. You may step down. Ready for your next witness?
The plaintiff will like to call Taylor Vickers to the stand.